the short answer to your question is no.
Okay.
We care. We do. Listen, if you consider yourself to be sort of politically engaged, if you're a commentator, a pundit, whatever I am, I have no idea. Yeah, we're going to watch it to be able to comment, maybe see, listen, if you're curious about who the next vice president of the United States is going to be, you might tune in, but I think it's very much inside baseball. I don't think there's a single undecided voter who goes, you know what, I'm undecided between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. I think this vice presidential debate is going to be determinative for me in that process. I just don't see it. People don't vote based upon VP.
Well, I wonder, Mick, if that's people don't decide to vote for a ticket because of the vice presidential debate, but could they decide to vote against one? Is there an opportunity here for one of these two gentlemen to slip up?
I guess the answer is yes. If your question is there more downside to a campaign ticket from doing these than there's upside, the answer is yes. Someone goes off and says something completely outrageous or stupid. Can it reflect badly on the top of the ticket? Yes, it can. But I mean, look back over we remember these for what? We remember these for when, was it Lloyd Benson said that Daniel wasn't John Kennedy? Did that move any votes? We remember when Mike Pence had a fly on his forehead. Does that move any votes?
Mm-hmm.
We don't remember these for the deep policy sort of discussions.
Made the fly really famous. Though, Mick, I guess that means everyone's going to come packing with a one-liner tomorrow night. They're going to try to do the Lloyd Benson moment, right? The mics are going to be unmuted. This actually could be a little feisty.
Everybody's looking for their viral moment. And look, if I was a betting man on who I think might be better on their feet, and again, I know both these guys. I do not know JD nearly as well as I know Tim. I like both of these guys. I really like Tim a lot. We shared a locker or right next to each other in the gym for 6 years. He's a nice guy. But if I had to put money on who's going to be better on their feet with the quippy one-liners, it's going to be JD. Why is that? Keep in mind, one of the reasons they say that the Democrats hired Walz, but he's so good on interviews and on TV, but they haven't let him do many of those since he's been sort of picked as the VP. JD has. He's gone on unfriendly media outlets, and he's gotten a lot of tough questions. My guess is that J.D. Vance will not get a question tonight that he hasn't been asked several times, or tomorrow night, that he hasn't been asked several times. It's possible that Tim Walz is, and if you get caught off guard or off balance, that's when those viral negative moments might spring up.
I am curious to hear more about your gym situation with now Governor Tim Walz, Mick, but
Did you say you shared a locker?
Okay, no, Joe really wants to know.
Yeah, I don't. How do you? So tell us more, Mick. I need to hear this.
Since this is off the record, I know, no one cares.
Absolutely,
about what I say.
We won't tell anybody.
Absolutely. My line is that I've seen Tim Walz naked more than his wife has.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. We had the lockers next to each other in the house gym for 6 years. He's a lovely guy, but I mean, listen. We can talk a long time another day about how Democrats and Republicans actually behave towards each other in the House. It's not at all what the media, more broadly, would have you think. We are friends. We still communicate with each other. I wish him well. I hope he loses. How about that?
Back to you,
fair
Kaylee.
enough, and that is a good reminder, Mick. If we could talk about the substance, the issues some of these two will be debating, there's questions that are around things like, say, immigration, knowing that has been a perceived weakness for the Democratic ticket specifically, but J.D. Vance has gotten a lot of flack in recent weeks for continuing to propagate a lie about Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, eating cats and dogs. Does he need to disavow that on the debate stage tomorrow night, Mick?
I don't know what disavowing does. I mean, if there's damage, it's already been done. If you come in and disavow it, I'm not sure that helps much. But you raise a good point on immigration. I'm not sure why Kamala Harris went to the border this week. And I know that's not your question, Kaylee, but it ties into this larger issue. This is an issue that the Democrats are weaker on than the Republicans. I equate it to her going to the border right before the election, so a couple weeks before the election, to Donald Trump going to Pennsylvania and talking about nothing but abortion for an hour and a half. Why draw attention to the issues that are not your strength? I get it. It's a big deal in Arizona. It's a big deal in Nevada. She sort of has to go down there eventually. Maybe she's, insulating herself against a charge going forward that she's never been to the border. But why the Democrats draw attention to it, I don't get it. Because it's not an issue they are going to win on. They're doing better on the economy, by the way, according to the polling data. I still think they trail Donald Trump pretty significantly on the economy, but the trend lines are good for them. So why they're not talking about that or abortion or the other issues they're good about? My guess is if Tim Walz gets an immigration question, he will mention exactly what you did very briefly and then try and pivot to something else. Probably talk about how there was going to be a Senate bill that Donald Trump killed. That's the end of the discussion. What's the next question?